So yes, you're in transport, you're in transportation, on the move again, young lady, as we can see. And as you briefly
Yes,
discussed,
always.
yeah, man, you're busy, you're trying to take the world over, man, one day at a time.
Yes, it's not easy, but we getting it done. We getting it done.
Most deaf. So I've been clearly working diligently and too hard myself because I didn't know nothing about what you was telling me about before. So break that down in
So
some
let's
more
go ahead and
detail.
give it to the world. Let's go ahead and let them know what's going on. So at this time, it just got posted officially maybe about 20-30 minutes ago from PASS, which is our it's like our centralized place. Like we have these testing places that we have to go to when you're in the industry to test for you to be ready for shooting, you know? And PASS is like the next step over to kind of okay these tests. Like you need PASS. You need PASS. They're like the next step after you get tested, after you get your results, to kind of keep the industry safe, even beyond these results, like what is
Like
happening right now.
a governing body kind of thing.
A governing party, thank you, for the industry. And it's very important to have PASS because they are the ones, as they are doing right now, to say whether or not they are going to hold off on productions, aka a moratorium, like we're doing right now at this time, or not. And so actually what has happened is this one testing facility, another centralized testing facility, which is only in Miami, Florida, not in Vegas, not in LA. They're pretty new too to the industry testing. They have notified us that there is a dormant strain, which means it's not active. It doesn't show up actively in your body of chlamydia. Yeah. So there are people that are being tested regularly. They're doing all the right protocol, which is to check the test on set, check the barcode, before you're shooting, and it's coming up negative. However, the honest to God truth is it's not negative at all. It's actually causing some false negatives because people are coming up with chlamydia, even though they're stating, "Well, how? I haven't had sex outside of work." We, of course, tested and we checked the test to make sure everybody was negative before shooting, and then 2 weeks later, they're coming up with this chlamydia. It's almost like how. But there is a dormant strain that this facility has now picked up, which the other facilities have not. And
That
of course,
is
like I said, they're only
strange.
in Miami. I live in Vegas and Los Angeles, both, and I go to talent testing or CET because that's where we have to go.
Hmm.
However, unfortunately, maybe they are not picking up on this strain. Even up to this morning, I just called talent testing before PASS made it official and made the announcement just to check because I already heard like 2 days ago that this was going to happen because all of my location bookings had got canceled for this week. I also, like I think I mentioned before, my Airbnbs, it's also one of them is a shoot house. So companies will contact me to book their scenes and use my home as for their location. I was
Yes.
booked Tuesday through Friday, and every scene had got canceled 2 days ago. So I already heard about this, but they did not make it official until literally maybe 28 minutes ago. Yeah.
That
So
is a bummer. I mean, I know of dormant stuff and but I've never heard of dormant chlamydia. Is this like a normal
and
thing or?
trichomonas and trichomonas. So there's actually two. There's one performer. We were talking openly on Twitter Spaces about this yesterday, and performers were comfortable enough sharing. Actually, now I just heard about a third person, um, with this strain who had no symptoms. One girl was like, "Wait, I haven't." When talent testing called me back about my new test that I just gotten, and told me that I had chlamydia and trichomonas, it was like very confusing to me because I had not had sex since that scene. I was only retesting because I was offered too much, she's saying, and decided to get retested because now I'm booked for scenes. She's back at work and she can't work because she had chlamydia. And it was like, I have no symptoms. And like, how is this humanly possible when before 2 months ago on set, the last people that I had shot with were negative, and the tests were like 2 days old at that time. So they did everything right, but even 2 months later, and if you research the dormant form of these STDs, even with chlamydia, it says it could show up. It might not show up for a year. Like,
I was gonna
what
say
the hell?
6 to 12 months. I've heard. Yes, yes, yeah.
It's
That's
crazy. I'm
wacky.
talking about no symptoms, nothing. And you're just walking around here because you're going off of your results that you have, and they're coming up negative. So you don't even know. You don't even know that you have it. So this is very scary. I just was promoting the fact that the industry is super safe and we do this testing and blah, blah, blah. But at this point, especially if maybe the centralized testing facilities in Las Vegas and Los Angeles are not picking up these strains because maybe they don't have the right testing or whatever Clear has in Miami that did bring up these strains and actually reported it to pass. And the reason why we're having this monitoring, they need to be in the same, they need to be in cahoots. Everybody needs to be testing the same. So, which I
Yeah,
thought was the case, but I don't know. It's
you would
very strange.
think, as you say, governing bodies are going to be singing off the same hymn sheet because it's the same industry kind of thing across the states.
The states, the globe. When I shot in Prague, they used my talent testing results
Oh,
that I had did in America
because that's the gold
because they're
standard.
centralized. They can log in Prague through their talent testing, and they have a talent testing facility, I believe, in Europe also, but they're able to pull those results in Prague. Yeah, so they're able.
Ooh.
Producers around the world can see your results. It's a
Yes.
centralized system. That's why we can't use like Planned Parenthood or like our doctor's notes. It's not good enough. You have to go through these facilities.
Which is a good thing,
So
and
now I'm like,
obviously it's been working. It's clearly been working up to this point, but we've got some kind of super damn something going on.
something going on. And they're saying STIs, so it's not one, and it's affecting quite a bit of people. So they have to shut down porn. The only thing you can do at this time, and they're saying at this moment until after December 12th, which that would mean December 13th, no productions are supposed to be going on, and unless they're solo, only solo. You're not supposed to be having multiple partners and shooting with each other at this time.
What about girl,
Actually,
girl?
no, solo. Yeah, because you can get chlamydia from girls if you eat the pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So it's no
yeah.
co-performer sex at all. It's supposed to be only solo, and it's very important for people to follow these things. Unfortunately, we lost the day today because they just posted it. And if you're on the East Coast, you're already 3 hours above. If you're on the Midwest, so the point is, people were still shooting today with this shit going on because they didn't get the official notation from PASS until 30 minutes ago. Yeah, so
It's worrying, man. That's real worrying.
so we're thinking about like moving forward. Like, what do we do? Of course, I'm already thinking like, well, shit. Maybe instead of me doing the 14-day, I would then just do 7 days, especially when I'm actively shooting. Right now, I'm on a little pause of my own. But when I get back to work, maybe doing a 7-day check, because we're not saying don't check, you must check your status. Maybe 7 days instead of 14 days get tested. And then maybe it's something about using condom seams. What's wrong with condoms? Yeah, maybe it's an extra layer of protection, especially if there's dormancy. Because how can you ever be fully protected if there's dormant STDs? You can't.
Yes,
You don't,
yes.
you know?
And as you say, I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing it back to the old school. I mean, it's for the younger generation, they don't know nothing about that idea, but you might have to box some trends.
We may have to start because even like it's a gray area right now. And the fact is, if maybe they can come up with some rapid testing with these kind of dormancies, but I don't know how soon that's going to happen. So
Well, the bigger implication, what I'm thinking, I mean, obviously it's hit the industry, but people in the industry, do stuff outside of the industry. And I don't think this is just industry specific.
Right, because and then with that being said, how can we just put it industry specific content creators who aren't in mainstream adult film, but they still are sex work. Mm-hmm. And then also people that aren't even filming still, I don't know, maybe take clients, or we just want to kind of, because it's the only time you have a moratorium if it's gotten out of fucking hand. And clearly I know a couple of people just off the bat, that have been affected by this situation here that's happening now. Yeah. So I'm afraid. I'm so like weird about shit. Like when I start hearing this, I'm like, wait, does my throat hurt? Like I start worrying. Yeah, I'm like, wait, am I okay? I'm ready to go get tested. But then I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I'm in Las Vegas this time. Am I supposed to go to talent testing? I thought you guys said that only the clear is the one who found the strain. So I don't want to waste money. It's like $180, to test. I don't know.
It's tricky. It's tricky as hell, man. I mean, the only thing I would suggest, obviously, is just to, be as diligent as you have been, and try and fortify yourself with maybe some additional vitamin D and stuff. I mean, you're getting access to loads of sun, so you're getting that already, but just kind of bulk up on that there.
And then if you have come up positive for something, make sure you take the correct precautions, which means you're not supposed to be having sex. I think even 7 days is the usual antibiotic dose for most of these curable ones. You're not, even after the 7th day, you're supposed to wait, I believe, 3 weeks in some cases to even resume sex unprotected. Yeah, because then we're just talking about dormancy. So you may not be infected, but you may still be infectious. Yeah.
I'm worried about the selfish people who don't have any restraints and it's like, no, I'm all right now. I feel okay. It's been 7 days. Let's just continue as normal kind of thing. I'll be okay. She'll be okay.
Yeah, but anyone who would go in when it's official and getting tested, I mean, you can for your independent reason, but if you're using it to try to go shoot porn or adult work, you're actually at risk for getting blacklisted, number one. And number two, you're just at risk for keeping this shit going on, because the point of them stopping adult is to go ahead and deal with the people that have become positive with whatever, treat them, and then give them the precautions. You want to kind of see the numbers go down to a 0 before you're opening up this again. So right now, they're trying to kind of get a hold on what they have already. If people keep shooting and coming up, it's going to keep going on, which means they're going to continue with the moratorium.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm interested to see if this bleeds outside of the industry. I'm pretty sure it's going to, if it hasn't already. And I think it may just be highlighted now kind of thing. And then they can, it's not so much of a...
A lot of the cases are coming out of Florida. And I don't know if it's coming out of Florida because this is where this testing facility is clear. So they're able to, see the strain. But the fact that it's non-symptomatic is scary.
Well, that's another question. I mean, so it's totally non-symptomatic. So has anybody, had symptoms past a certain point, or are they just finding the trace within the testing facility?
Yeah, one girl who confirmed she has it, and she just completed her antibiotic therapy. She was saying that the only symptom that she had, what she thought was kind of just a normal thing, was similar to BV, just a little bit of a funk. And then she decided to take, the proper thing you would, like a boric acid or maybe flagyl to treat the BV, which is a non-STD. It's bacterial vaginosis. Yes. So that's very common and it's normal. It's not a sexual transmitted disease. However, trichomonas is, and they mask. Yeah, with trichomonas, you can have the same funk, the same kind of symptoms, and even sometimes you can get some clarity from the smell from using boric acid and flagyl. However, it is not treating trichomonas, which is an STD. So it's kind of making some of these symptoms are kind of masking what you would see naturally, but it's not natural at all. So you're not picking up that it's trichomonas. You're thinking it's bacterial vaginosis. Yeah.
So because you have a medical background, young lady, what is the source of these STIs?
What do you mean source besides like
Well, well,
sex?
mine obviously, but I've heard, like, for instance, a lot of the, and this is, I think, maybe a wives' tale, but there may be some truth to this, that some of the STIs that humans have now come from dirty men potentially messing with animals, and then stuff taking place and mutations of germs, etc.
The thing, unfortunately, a lot of people are not comfortable speaking openly about their sexual habits.
Hmm.
So if that was going on, is probably not going to be a correct number to even source to even do statistics because I'm not sure how many people are comfortable saying that they do these things out publicly righteously. So to be honest, how are we ever going to find out? But yeah, people do weird shit like that. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know who for sure, but I mean, if we heard about it, that means that it exists. People have some really weird, and I'm
yeah.
calling it weird because it is what it is. That's weird. Really weird sexual kind of energies and behaviors. That's totally not natural and okay. You know, but hey, I try my best. I really do not to judge people, but I
Yeah.
mean that's some weird shit. And I hope that that's not what's happening. But we know that for sure it's happened in the past, so it's probably very prominent. But people aren't as open as talking about certain things as they are with other things. It could
Yeah.
be. I think this is more or less right now just people having a good time, maybe not as safe as they should whether it is, but they're also going off of test results that were negative. And the dormancy is what the problem is because, like we just had mentioned, it could be something where it doesn't show up for 6 months to a year. So it's like, okay, how do I track that back? And then the
Really?
other thing is, are people comfortable with saying, I have chlamydia, you should go get checked out? Most people are not. They kind of keep it to themselves. They're not being good with protecting their peers and other people by alerting those who they have been in contact with that they have these things going on.
The stigma, I guess, which surrounds the whole thing about STI. I mean, it does have a negative stigma to it, but being an adult and doing adult things, sometimes you have to deal with adult consequences, which is having that and being adult enough to tell your partner, look, this is what it
it's
be.
very, it's very important. So the industry is kind of we're definitely on pause at this time. um
So I
it's just
guess
a really strange
that's gonna limit you down to your work-wise down to what, I guess, what, 25%?
work, my locations. I mean, like I said, this was indirect of me shooting adult. I also allow bookings through my homes through for location. So if there's no porn to be had, there's
Mm.
no production to be booked. There's then my house rental will just be strictly Airbnb for now. And then I had some things kind of set up for this week since I am trying to slowly but surely get back to professional shooting after my little vacation. But now that's over.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a challenge, just another challenge, young lady. Just another challenge. I'm pretty sure you've got a lot of fingers in the pies and you've got, heaps of creativity. So, this gonna be all right.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. It's just scary because like the whole thing for me when I have issues come up is deal with the issue and then like kind of move forward. So what's the forward? And that's where this little gray area is coming up. You can
Yeah.
totally be independent and advocate for yourself in these things. Like, okay, I'm not gonna do this A, Y, and Z. However, if you're trying to get into mainstream and maybe the companies aren't really on the same, you may lose work by doing condom scenes, but it's still your choice. No
Whoa,
one
whoa,
forces you
whoa,
to do it.
whoa, 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 whoa. Stop. Wait a minute. Rewind that.
Yeah.
So going more mainstream would be a negative if you did a condom scene. How does that doesn't make any sense?
Well, for certain companies don't do non-condom scenes at this point. Now, based on what's going on now and the things that we're learning and the things that are coming up, I'm sure, especially the like big, huge, multi-million, they're not going to play around with this type of shit. So Lord knows what's going to happen moving forward as far as companies. I'm just saying that as of now, as you can see, I don't know if you watch porn, most mainstream productions aren't, they're
Of
non-condom.
course. No.
The whole point for us to be tested as often. Yeah.
I think this is a perfect opportunity, as we said earlier, to bring it back as fashion is now. Look at fashion. Fashion is everything from the 80s and 90s and stuff now. The music has gone back to the 80s and 90s. Let's go back to Jimmy hats, man, or Johnnies as we call them over here. Let's make that trendy for the youth to say, yeah, let's put a Johnny on. Let's put a Jimmy hat on rather than just, dipping bare and, going rough.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. And at this point, how else do you combat something like this? I mean, it has to be some sort of extra protective layer for sure.
100%, 100%. I think we've had interesting that this has happened today over there where you are across the pond, because we've had a health alert for children for what on earth is it called again? There's a slang word for it, not slang word, but in like whooping cough, not whooping cough, scarlet fever. So we got a whole heap of scarlet fever going on over in England, and it's obviously affecting the youth. It's transmittable to adults, obviously, but not as bad as symptoms. But it's interesting that we're coming, closer to the end of the Gregorian year of 2022 when we're having these
working on the jacuzzi. I'm sorry, I'm listening. I'm just multitasking.
all good, all good. And we're having these spikes, we got this chlamydia thing. Scarlet fever, we got flu obviously is going up. They're talking about this COVID stuff again. It's interesting to say the least, man. We got to be real diligent and careful in protecting one's physical health, one's spiritual health, and one's mental health. Yeah, Ebony, I think you're muted. So as we wind down, young lady, I know you on the road and stuff. What kind of music are you into?
Music, I'm starting to do a little rap.
I've noticed.
But I love reggae. Sure, that's what I like is the reggae.
Okay.
But Afro beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me some so artist wise things. Give me some artists, reggae artists that you like. Not necessarily.
I like Hypnotize, Sizzler.
The old school, the proper things.
Mavado.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I listened to like the new wave. Everybody on the Afro beats now, so Burna Boy and them. And Thames and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm like old school. I'm old school like Shelto Adidas, so I know stuff up to like the like 2010, maybe 2012. Anything after that, I don't really know about still. I hear it and it sounds cool, but I couldn't tell you the artist and all that. All right. And coming up then, what again, same kind of genres of music, reggae and hip hop and that kind of stuff?
65. Yeah, I love hip hop too.
Right. So what was
hip hop.
What was in heavy rotation when you was at college? What would you have playing in your ride?
Hold on 1 second. Okay. 1 moment. Don't hang up. Like I like Dead Prez.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Dead Prez. I really get into like the conscious stuff when I get into hip hop. I love Dead Prez. Let me see, Black Roots.
Mm-hmm.
Like them, like the conscious music. I really like that.
Yes. Okay. I'm so shocked to hear you say that. I didn't think you'd say the conscious. I knew you'd be down with rap and hip hop and all that, but I didn't think you'd go down the conscious route. Okay. I'm gonna send you some tracks, man. I'm gonna send you some tracks.
Please. I would
Most
appreciate that.
Most definitely, most definitely. So I see you're busier than a mother as usual. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna let you get off and do your thing, señorita. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much for your time. And
Yes.
when we got some more time, we're gonna carve out a bit more of a formal sit down and we're gonna do this here. You heard?
Okay, I would love that. Thank you guys for having me. You guys stay safe out there.
Most definitely. And the links below to the socials, website, and all that there is gonna be below in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Thank you. We'll talk soon. Ciao.